Hi, and welcome to Say Grace, Food for Thought and Hospitality. I'm Steve Palmer, and I invite you to join me as we explore the stories behind leaders in the hospitality industry and beyond. Say Grace is a place to reflect, connect, and savor thoughtful narratives. Everyone has a seat at our table. So pull up a chair and let's discover the transformative power of hospitality together. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Say Grace. My name's Steve Palmer, and I am thrilled today. This is like the fab version this week of Say Grace. For those of you that don't know what fab means, it's females in food and beverage here in Charleston, put on by the amazing Randy Weinstein, dear friend. But today I'm welcoming Simone Reggie. I'm going to read your bio now because that's just what I do, and then we're just going to talk. Simone is based in New Orleans as the Director of Sales and Marketing for French Truck Coffee, where she oversees marketing, community relations, and partnerships across the company's 12 locations. Her career spans over a decade of working in food and beverage, marked by a broad network of deep relationships with industry professionals, brands, and consumers. Simone, welcome to Say Grace.
Thank you.
Let's talk all about you.
Okay.
So did you, we'll just start with kind of, how did you find your way to F&B? I always am interested in, because we all have a journey.
Yes, we do.
Some of it's accidental. Some of it is like, well, my dad owned a restaurant,
My dad owned a restaurant.
There we go, right?
My dad owned a restaurant when I was in high school. He had started out, he was at Brennan's years ago.
Okay.
Like in the 70s.
Gotcha.
And then I happened, and then they moved back to Lafayette, and then he opened a restaurant in, I guess, 1994.
Okay.
It was an Italian restaurant. So we're Lebanese, and so food has always been kind of the center of what brought the family together. And as many men do, some mostly men, sorry, but in their early 40s, it's like, I want to own a restaurant because I love to cook.
Right. Yeah.
So he had the restaurant for 4 years, but I worked there. I mean, I remember times where, like, being at a family dinner and all of a sudden my dad would just come and whisper in my ear, like, the bus boy just left and I need you to get up from the table, excuse yourself, and you're now working. And I would be like, oh, okay, great. Well, thank you guys. I'm glad you enjoyed your meal.
Wow.
And so there was a lot of that. So I worked there. And then I went to college and did a little waiting tables. And then I worked for Cintas, the uniform company.
Sure.
And I knew I wanted to get back into food because that was what I enjoyed, not slinging toilet paper, which was a great job.
Right.
But I wanted to do something back in food. So I moved to New Orleans and I pursued my MBA. And I got that, worked for a few chefs doing like foundation work and some restaurant marketing. And then I opened a butcher shop in 2012.
You're like a badass.
So it was like a whole animal butcher shop.
What was the name of it?
Cleaver and Company.
Wow.
So it was, we would get whole animals in locally. And this was in like the peak
Was this in Lafayette?
Local. This was in New Orleans.
In New Orleans, okay.
It was like the peak of when people were really starting to slow food and butcher shops. And there was 4505 Meats in San Francisco. So when in trying to
and there was charcuterie on every menu. Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. I like that era of it.
It was great.
Yeah.
So I did that and then kind of got it started and then passed it off to my partner. And then I worked for a company called Good Eggs, which was online grocery delivery service, but like a farmer's market.
Okay.
So you could go and you could order your bread from this baker and your eggs from this farmer and your milk from this farmer and your carrots here, and then you could order your coffee from your local coffee roaster. And French Truck, it will all come in circle, happened to be the first vendor we signed on. And so I've known Jeffrey Meeker and Bobby Winston from French Truck since they first started, really. Wow. That was fun. And then when that shut down, I thought it would be a great idea to open my own grocery store because I knew all these vendors and I had like farmers that had planted acres of carrots for me and, had kind of ramped up production. I was like, well, I should open a little boutique grocery store. And so I did that for a few years too.
Wow, you've done a lot.
Yeah.
So I want to back up for a minute. Well, I want to back up a couple steps. First off, Lebanese family,
Yes.
and this is me being the sort of ignorant white Southern boy. You started your sentence by saying, I'm Lebanese, so that means this. We were always around food.
Yes.
Can you tell me? I'm curious to learn. I have a very curious mind. What does it mean to be Lebanese to you?
Well, it's in Lebanese, especially in the South, because so many families immigrated to kind of South Louisiana.
Okay.
And so Crowley, Louisiana to Lafayette, there's a huge Lebanese population.
I had no idea.
And so my grandfather immigrated here when he was 5 years old with his parents. His mother was pregnant, was about 7 months pregnant, and his aunt. So his father's daughter, and his aunt, his father's sister.
Yeah.
And they went to Crowley. They had $18 in their pockets. You can see the manifest from Ellis Island, and it has exactly how much they have. Like we received a copy when they changed the name from Reggie to Reggie. And so they knew food, right? They knew that that's how they could kind of connect with each other and connect with the families. So every Sunday, my great-grandmother would cook Sunday dinner at her house. And then my grandmother would cook Sunday dinner. And it's like, I remember growing up, my grandmother would roll grape leaves all the time. And hers are the best. It's just fact.
Right.
And everybody knew that she made the best grape leaves. And I remember before she passed away, I was like, can I have the recipe? Like, somebody has to make it. She's like, well, you just meat and rice. And I was like, I need you to measure it. Like, we're going to need a little more specifics.
Right.
So
that's beautiful.
yeah,
Thank
so I
you
was
for
able to
sharing
do that. And then like kibinei, which is like raw ground meat where you got to grind it yourself or you got to get the butcher to grind it.
Right.
When I had the butcher shop and people found out I was Lebanese, they were like, oh, could you do the kibbe meat for me? You got to do it first thing in the morning. And so I had like several regulars that would have us do the meat for them. So yeah, that's how we connected. Right. Like some families play tennis, some families, I don't know what else people do as families, but we ate, and we still do.
Yeah.
Like Thanksgiving dinner is, I think this year it was about 85 people, and we all sit down together.
Wow,
we sit
beautiful.
down at my cousin Judy Matuk's house, and she hosts it. And I mean, she's got Thanksgiving china, and everybody, that's the one thing, is everybody sits down and eats. I mean, there are tables everywhere. There's like 3 in the dining room. They move the furniture out of the living room, and they have tables so that we can all have that moment.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So you got an MBA, and I'm gonna you could probably count on one hand the people in our industry that got an MBA, because a lot of us are just like school of hard knocks kind of people. How you went from that to opening a butcher shop?
Yeah.
You've got to unpack that a little bit more.
Well,
why did you want to get an MBA? I mean, that's wow. You're
MBA,
like impressive. You seriously are impressive. No, I mean that.
It was, I had a classmate who was like, oh, I want to do a butcher shop. And I was like, I could do the marketing for you and I could like help out. And so we kind of partnered up to do that. It's a tough business. I mean, as is anything in food and bev, right? The grocery store was
I heard the margin's like 1% in a grocery store.
Yeah, we didn't make that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, we had like prepared foods and everything. We really tried, and it was great. And I'm glad I did it. I wouldn't go back, but it was, it was a rough, because like my mom died in the middle of it. So it was just one of those things that I was like, okay, I did that. I don't need to own a business anymore. Owning
a business is hard.
Yeah.
And it, even though we have a lot of them now, it doesn't get any easy. It only actually gets harder. But those first couple of months, that oh my God, is anybody going to come? My accountant's going, we don't have any. We have $5,000 in the bank. Are we opening tonight? It's hard.
Yeah, I remember when I opened Simone's Market, Neil, I know you had Neil Bodenheimer on here.
Yeah, love Neil.
he walked in and he was like, it was the day before, 2 days before I opened. And he was like, Simone, just remember, the way it looks today is not how it has to look forever. Like, just get your doors open and it's okay. And he was talking about when he first opened Cure, he was like,
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't what it is today with bottles stacked all the way. He goes, buying the inventory is too much. You just get it open.
Just get
and
open.
Just do you.
That's right.
And that was kind of the greatest. He's filled with tidbits of advice.
He's pretty awesome. I was glad to have him here. So, coffee.
Yes.
So you've done like a lot of things. Like I've just served food, but you've like all kinds of things. So how is that different for you?
It still has a lot of the same like nuances as food does, you know, and there's like freshness, and we have a lot of relationship coffee where we're buying coffee from the same families we've purchased coffee from for 17 or 7 years.
And do you go?
I got to go last
Ecuador,
year.
or where are you buying?
I went to
coffee?
Colombia last year.
Colombia. Okay.
Yeah, Jeffrey was like, "Why don't you come? You should see, you know, what it is you're selling and what
Right.
it is you're marketing." And it was
it's an
really
agricultural
incredible
product.
to, you know, we went to Coffee Net, which is a distributor we work with down there. And he was like, when I first started going with them, they had like a little bitty cupping room. And now it's, you know, they're expanding and able to grow. And some of these farmers are able to buy more land. And it's really nice to see that. And
That's gratifying.
and learning about coffee. Like it's all of our coffee. So when Jeffrey started it, he had a little 1965 French Citron truck, and it had a basic website. You would order the coffee on the website. He would roast it in his laundry room the next day and then deliver it. So it was roasted right then.
Right.
And we still do that today. So
In his laundry room?
Yeah. Yeah, he almost, you know, his wife was like, that's enough of that.
That's it, right. Get it out of here.
But now it's you walk into our roastery at 4:00 in the afternoon and the shelves are empty. And that's because everything has already gone out. So you place your order by 10 a.m. The next morning it gets roasted and then shipped out. And that's for any wholesale accounts. That's for online customers. That's for the shops. And so it's like, I'm proud to say that we're still, because it's a baked product. So we're
Right.
still serving it fresh.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, it sounds like some of the things you've done have not worked out the way that you, and I've opened restaurants that didn't land.
Yeah.
Talk about like when you got to pick yourself back up after that.
Yeah. So after Simone's Market, I worked for Diageo, which if you look at my whole resume, it makes no sense.
No sense.
And I did sponsorships and events. And it was actually, let's circle back to Neil, who
Yeah.
got me the job.
Right.
Because somebody was like, we're looking for somebody who can do like partnerships and events. He's like, well, Simone knows people in town, so she would be great. I don't know why I had that job, but one time I was at a work conference in Connecticut and my boss was like, do you want kids? She's like, not being nosy, like just curious. And I was like, I do, but I'm 42. She's like, oh, well, our insurance covers IVF completely. So if you did decide to go that route, and I was like, insurances don't cover IVF. And it did. I have twin 4-year-old daughters now.
Oh, wow.
That cost me,
God bless. That's awesome.
And so I feel that like, I don't know why, but that was like this random job for that reason. So now,
Totally makes sense.
But I left there in 2020 because, you know, events weren't really.
Not so much.
Not so much. And that's when I started working for Tabasco
Okay.
as their brand ambassador. But it was like a lot of travel. And I was ready to like use my brain and use everything I had learned again. And so that's when Jeffrey was like, come switch over to French Truck. And so I guess I've had a community of people that have always really picked me up when those things happened and serendipity happened.
Right.
I mean, when the butcher shop closed, it was like Good Eggs opened. The door to Good Eggs opened up.
Right.
And it's like all of these doors just continue to open because I talk to people. And I'm honest about it. Like, I'm like, hey, this is not going great. What do I do? Or ask people for advice because there are people who have done it so well that sometimes you just have to ask them, how do you pick yourself up? Right? Like, what do you do to pick yourself up? And I'm going through this, and then it's like, oh, well, I kind of know somebody who needs somebody to do this. Maybe you can talk to them. And so just like finding this network of people that have always it's just always kind of worked out in a weird sort of way. But I don't give up.
That's
And
great.
it's hard. I mean, the market was the hardest. The market was it's like 35 pounds lighter. I was drinking a lot. My mom died. My dog died. Like, it was just a whole slew of
Right.
things. I met my husband in the middle of all of that. And he was like not my type. He was, this bro-y guy who worked in sports. And I was like, oh, maybe I don't need somebody who's in my world.
Yeah.
And it all worked out.
It all worked out. I think you said something that's really powerful, and it really is about vulnerability, right? About I'm raising your hand and saying I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And I find, and I'm sure you experience this, as the business owner, all day long, everybody is coming to you to have the answers to solve the problems. And I am often left with, well, who do I go to solve? I've never done this before. And the more I talk to other entrepreneurs, everybody kind of has this same feeling, but not a lot of people are willing to be vulnerable and just say, like, I'm not doing, like, we're not making money, or I'm not doing well, or my food cost is high and I have no idea why. So good for you. I mean, I think vulnerability is so powerful. Like, it expresses our humanity in a way that I think invites people in, where especially in our world, I mean, we're in a creative world that also has to make money. You have all kinds of egos and passions and creatives, and I think just the ability to be real really is powerful.
And I think people are leaning more towards vulnerability now.
Amen.
Because there's so much more of a focus on mental health, like Southern Smoke.
Yeah.
And it's like we're realizing you don't have to just cry in the walk-in. You can go talk to somebody. But yes, it's great to cry in a walk-in or scream in it or whatever you need to do. But it does help because everybody has been through it.
Right.
Nobody just opens a restaurant and it just is gangbusters, and it's just magical, and all of your staff is great, and they all show up all the time.
Right.
It's not a reality.
I co-founded a mental health, an organization called Ben's Friends that's about addiction. And we have a chapter in New Orleans. Alex Harrell is But when Ben committed suicide, nobody knew he was struggling. And that's the whole thing around mental health. Like, after that, I said, we have to make it okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't, kitchen culture, restaurant culture, world culture, oh, I'm fine. And when I'll never forget when we were opening the restaurant that Ben was helping us open, there were 3 sober chefs working in the kitchen. Nobody knew. So I love that more and more people are, like, mental health just kind of rolls off the tongue. And I'm like, yes, because it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah. And I even have a relationship with Jeffrey now where I'll, like, walk into his office and I'm like, I need to talk to my friend Jeffrey for a second. I'm like, work is really hard. Like, I'm feeling like I'm not having these wins. And I'll just talk to him. I was like, I need you to take off you're the owner of this company.
Hat, yeah.
And I just need a real reality check.
And that probably makes your working relationship better.
Yes. Because he knows I'm passionate about it, and I know that I make mistakes, and he's letting me take more risks, and so it all balances out, but he kind of sees where I'm coming from on things, and he does the same.
Working in the coffee industry, what's the thing you're most passionate about that industry?
I like the relationships, because, I mean, that's kind of where I was with the butcher shop and with Good Eggs and the market, is the relationship with the producers. I don't have as much touch on them, but I get to tell their story. So I'm able to hear about the relationship with the farmer in Guatemala or with the farmer when we're in Colombia or whatever it is, and be able to tell that story and just know that my marketing efforts and my sales efforts are going to continue to help them grow. and help our community. So it's like, when I started, I was like, we need a mission statement. And their mission statement didn't make as much sense. It was just, they kind of threw it together when they first started.
Right.
And so it was like bringing good coffee that's approachable, but supporting our community and those of the growers that we work with. And so I like that. And it sounds so cheesy when I say it.
Not
but
if you mean it. Not if you mean it.
It is really kind of the best part. And watching the company grow and innovation. We're about to launch a canned oat milk latte.
Oh, cool.
So it's like that little passion project is super fun of something we've never done before.
One of our head baristas at Mercantile, when we first opened, we got very passionate about a Casera soda. Mm-hmm. And I I'll give you the money. And it was really good. It didn't work, but we bottled it. It was really delicious. But yeah, there's lots of different things you can do with coffee.
Yeah.
But you know what? I love what you said about the growers being able to tell their story. I talk a lot about the transformative power of hospitality. Like, not just I'm in a restaurant and I'm feel good because somebody, but like that hospitality can really change lives. Mm-hmm. Southern Smoke is a good example.
Yeah.
I was just with Will Gadara in Nashville a couple weeks ago, and just the ripple effect that hospitality can have, and that to me is what you're speaking to. Is by doing what you do, it gives a voice for others, mm-hmm. which creates well-being. I love that. I think we work in the best industry.
Yeah.
Is it hard? You mentioned your twin daughters. Is it hard for you balancing? My wife. I'm not a mother, and mm-hmm. I can just run 500 miles an hour at my job every day, and I have a supportive wife, and I don't. I come home and everything's great.
Yeah.
How is that for you? Because you seem like you're a driven person. Mm-hmm. I would, just by your many accomplishments. How is that? Has being a mom changed that for you?
No, it's super easy. No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to go, wow,
what?
Simone.
No, it's super easy. You just you just work your 50 hours a week and then you just take care of kids. It's insane.
Right.
It is. So a couple of years ago, I was telling my husband, I felt like I lost myself because
I bet
all of my other projects were either I just put everything into work, and then like Tabasco, there was a lot of travel and going out to eat and mm-hmm. events, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'm back in an office, but I have my kids, so I don't really have time to socialize, or I'm not traveling for events. So what is for me? So I started going to Pilates in the morning. And I go at 6 a.m, and it's just like my hour where I don't have to talk to anybody and I don't have to make any decisions. Like you were saying, nobody's asking me to make any decision.
Right.
And they're like,
isn't that nice?
Yeah, it's really nice. And then I get to work a little before, a little early, and kind of knock everything out. Most mornings I don't see the girls. My husband is an amazing supportive partner. He gets them up, he does the breakfast and hair and all the things. And then I pick them up, and then it's like when everybody leaves work at 5 and they're like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about having kids. I'm like, really? What do you do when you get home? Like, cook some dinner and watch a show and do that. I was like, I don't get my time until 8:30 at night. Like I am another full time. Mm-hmm. But I have learned, because for so long I always put work first, that it's just coffee. Like Jeffrey has kind of taught me that it's just coffee.
Right.
Like a couple of weeks ago, I was like, yeah, my girls have this performance at camp, gymnastics camp. I mean, they're 4. I was like, a friend of mine's going to pick the girls up. And he looks at me, he's like, Simone, your girls are going to be looking for you in the audience. I was like, I know, but we have all these projects and he goes, no, stop. It's just coffee. Right. And I went, and I'm so glad I went. And, my daughters saw me, and they were jumping up and down. One started crying so much she couldn't contain herself. And I was glad I went. So it's like I even need those things to be put in check where I can't be at everything, but it is in the end, it's just coffee. And so figuring out how to balance all of that,
Right.
and then also be a wife and a partner. So it's really hard to juggle all of it. And it's something that I think all moms and dads too, you kind of struggle with. Like, how do you prioritize everything?
Right.
What do you put that's most important? And then being present and then patient after having a long day in an office, and then come home and I have to have like all of the energy and all of the patience for 4 hours for the girls when I get them.
Patience.
Yeah, there's a lot of deep breaths in our house.
Yeah. My wife said the other day, people always say, "Are you ready for children?" The real question is, are you ready for teenagers?
Yeah, I'm scared.
Yeah, we're in it. My daughter turns 15 this week, and the last year and a half, it's been like trying to negotiate World War III peace. You know, it's all the hormones and it's.
And then you're trying to also raise a daughter, I'm sure, that's like strong, independent,
Yes.
won't take crap from anybody.
Exactly.
And then it just kind of bites you in the ass.
Oh,
But
100%.
you're just like, no, you shouldn't have to do something that you don't want to. And then you're like, but I'm asking you to do this. Okay, I know I told you this.
Right. Oh, totally. My daughter shows horses, and she switched over to the most dangerous side of the sport called eventing, where it's like cross country, and they have to wear an inflatable air vest. So when they get thrown off the horse, they don't die. So that's our child. So she has no problem speaking her mind,
Yeah.
right? And how do you find that? Like, be respectful, but stand your ground. If a boy bullies you, hit him. My wife will say, stop saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, balance. I have not figured that out. I think as an entrepreneur, that almost is impossible, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I called Jeffrey out on things too. I'm like,
It's just,
You're-
do
you know.
you say it's just coffee?
Yeah.
Good for you.
because I know in this it was 12, we have 13 locations now. So it's like we just opened one up and it was a 45-day turnaround right in the middle of like Jazz Fest. It was great. Also with me having the flu, of course the whole family had the flu and trying to open a new location. It was,
Wow.
yeah,
That's busy.
yeah.
What do you love about hospitality?
It's going to, again, sound cheesy and cliche, but the community, right?
Right.
We're all on the same playing field. And you meet so many people that you can turn to that understand, and you don't, it is in its element, it's very alone, right? Like, I'm sure you feel very alone,
Incredibly alone at times.
but at the same time, you know that you have 50 people, 100 people that you can call when you're alone on different things, and they've been there. And all we want to do is want everybody to succeed. Like, you're not looking going, oh God, I hope those people don't make it.
Right. I want everybody to win. I was talking
Yeah.
to someone earlier, but like, I go to other people's restaurants, I'm cheering them on. Like, I hope you're killing it. You know? I love that about our community.
Yeah, it's like, even if I'm talking to a restaurant about wholesale coffee and they go with another local coffee roaster, I'm like, that's great. That's great. As long as you're not going with like some commodity.
Right. That's right.
Then let's have more support. There's enough work for everybody.
Yeah. What do you dislike about hospitality?
I think it's changing a bit, but the almost like a competition about who's busier and who's crazier and who's more stressed out. Like, I feel like for a while that was just like, that was the status of like, if you don't have
Right.
any moment to yourself and you worked 100
Right,
hours a
right,
week.
right,
And now
right.
there's more of a conscious effort. Like, yes, you have your busy moments, like when you're opening a place or whatever, but I think it's understanding that it is okay to have a life outside of it and having more of a support to figure that out.
You've been in the business for a minute. As a woman in the business, do you feel like the rules are different?
No, because I think for a while it was you had to work even harder.
Gotcha.
I mean, when I had my market, I was working from well, so my mom was dying, so I would wake up at like 5 in the morning, and she wanted to have coffee with me every morning, and she was on hospice. And if I was distracted in the least bit, it would mess up the rest of her day because she could sense it almost. So I'd have to get there at like 5:30 in the morning and have coffee with her as though this is the middle of my day and I have nothing else going on, and stay for 2 hours. And then I had to go open up a market and close it down. So I'd get home at like 10:30 and then do it all over again. And it was because I was trying to be everything to everybody instead of just taking away a little bit from the market and trusting the team I had.
Right.
I was just spreading myself thin because I felt like I had to work even harder.
You're a very resilient person.
I try.
If no one has ever told you that, I really admire your grit.
Well, thank you.
We talk a lot about grit nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, Charlotte Duckworth wrote a book, and I thought it was fascinating. And it was, I'm bad at paraphrasing, but they did studies of thousands of people and Ivy League educations and all the things. And at the end of the day, the people that are most successful is not because of intelligence or education; it's grit, the ability to keep going.
Yeah.
You know. You live in New Orleans, which is such a rich city of culinary history. I mean, I would probably argue even more so than Charleston, and I think Charleston has a pretty incredible, rich culinary history. How do you see, and it's a city also that has been through hurricanes, there was a, killing on I mean, there's been a lot of tragedy in New Orleans. And every time I'm down there, I'm so struck by, I guess in the kitchen we call it the esprit de corps, but just the ability to rally around the community. Do you find that for yourself?
Yes.
I mean, you've kind of already said that, but what
Yeah.
do you love about being in New Orleans?
You don't live there because it's safe or the weather is great
Right.
or the economy is booming. There's just something about it that just keeps you there. And it is the people, it is the community of other entrepreneurs that show up for each other.
Right.
And it's the ones that are really putting their heart and soul into it and into the community. Like Toops, the Isaac Toops and Amanda that are doing Toops Family Meal to feed the kids in the community. And it's like so many people kind of come together to help them out.
Right.
I mean, back to, I know I mentioned my mom passed, but I mean, when my mom passed away, the meal train, it was, one of my friends was like, what is this, the James Beard list? It was just, everybody was like, oh, like Coquette showed up the day my mom died with fried chicken on my front porch. It was just everybody showed up and they were like, okay, well, we don't know what to do. Let's feed you. And we do that for each other in all situations.
Right.
It's like when I was with Tabasco and when restaurants would open up after COVID, I would bring them fried chicken from McCarty's. And it was like, here's your family meal on us. And it was like, as you were opening up, just to support each other. And I think there's so much of that everybody truly cares about each other's success, that they want each other to make it.
I love that. I feel like there's no other industry where we just are there for each other. But in New Orleans, y'all have had to, I don't know, I was down there in November for a Southern Smoke panel. Chris and I were talking, or no, they were holding an event and I spoke. And I'm always just so touched by what a strong sense of community the F&B. I love our Ben's Friends team down there. What's your hope for the hospitality industry? Like, we've been through a lot of change, right? The Me Too movement, which was needed to happen, rolling into COVID, rolling into civil unrest, rolling into the whole staffing dynamic where there was no staff. Then the staff was much more expensive, and you can appreciate that as a business owner. You want to pay your people all the monies, and you got to pay rent, and you've got all the other things. The industry's changed so much, and I've talked to a lot of operators, and It's harder. It's harder. Although I interviewed Danny Meyer a couple of weeks ago, and he, of course, always being Danny, sees the optimism in everything. But the industry's changed so much. What's your hope for it? Where are we headed, but like, what do you hope we're going to become?
Well, that's a tough one. Because there's so many things, right? You want hope for the customer to have more grace and have more understanding. Like that's kind of really, maybe that's it. Maybe it's I hope for more people outside of the hospitality to understand what all goes into it so that they have a little more patience and grace for when the barista accidentally put almond milk instead of oat milk, or, didn't fill up your glass all the way. So then you immediately go online and bash them and tell them. And then as much as you want to hate Yelp and all these reviewers, the average consumer, when they want to go somewhere, they're going to look up coffee shop and look at this one has 800 5-star reviews or whatever. And so maybe people having a little more grace and learning how to communicate again. Because for so long, if there was something wrong, I'm sorry, if you don't mind, this is,
right.
I'm allergic to almonds, I can't have it, whatever it is. But instead, everybody's so used to like hiding behind a screen and not communicating, and nobody makes phone calls anymore, nobody texts. But so if it can get back to people just learning to talk to each other and have conversations with each other, I think that would take such a stressor off of so many people, that understanding that we're not just this like machine, that it's all thoughtfully put together and that there will be mistakes made, but just have patience.
Have patience. This number one topic we've been coaching our teams on for the last 5 years is how to talk to each other. Mm-hmm. Just talk.
Yeah.
Don't manage your relationships through text and email. Just talk.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed. You'll find the humanity in others. What are you afraid of? What is Simone afraid of?
I'm afraid of my daughters growing up in this downward trajectory of people that are just like not having patience and grace and understanding with each other. That's really scary. Of like, where is it going to be in 10, 15, 20 years?
Yeah.
Where am I going to be? What am I going to do? Like, hopefully French Truck will do well, but like, am I going to get my dream of living somewhere where there are like tacos and golf carts that are a part of my everyday life? Like that's
Is that your dream?
Yeah.
Tacos and golf carts? I like that.
Tacos and golf carts.
We all have to have a dream.
Yeah. I want tacos and golf carts. But like, hopefully we're going to get back to where people are compassionate with each other.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of been lost over the last few years.
And I wonder why. You would think something like a pandemic would bring us together.
Yeah.
I felt like 9/11, totally different set of circumstances, and I'm not making comments on the war, but like the spirit in America after that was one of unification.
Yeah.
What does the word hospitality mean to you? I ask every guest that because it's my favorite word, one of them.
Friendship and connection.
Okay.
Like more of a connection, like finding a connection in every aspect of it, whether it's coffee, whether it's beverage, whether it's food, whether it's like two owners or marketers talking to each other. It's finding that connection, and hospitality kind of does that for so many people, because ultimately you want to connect with your customer in every aspect of it. And so that's kind of connection with other people and with each other.
I think that I believe that we're in an industry that the more AI becomes a part of our lives, the more people are going to want to go out to eat and have connection.
Yeah.
I think we're in a good space. Last question. What would be the perfect hospitality job for you?
I really like where I really like where I am now.
Oh,
Like
that's
I'm really
good.
happy.
You know, very few people, I said it was the last question. I have another one. But very few people can say that.
Yeah. I mean, I wish my office had windows, but other than that, like,
Jeffrey, get windows.
everybody thinks we're in this like high rise, and literally we're in a metal shed in the middle of Girt Town, New Orleans, over
Right.
a roastery, with mismatched carpet. But yeah, I like that I'm using my brain. I'm working in hospitality. I'm home with my kids at night, every night. I have a great team that works under me. I wish my team was a little bigger, but I think everybody wishes that. And I'm liking being able to watch this grow. But then when a machine breaks down or the alarm goes off or there's a plumbing issue, I'm not who anybody goes to. So
Right.
I love the team that handles that, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Like people think he's the maintenance guy most of the time.
Right.
But yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy where I am.
That's cool.
I know, and I'm not just saying that.
No, I can feel that.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to, living in the moment, having what you want, or wanting what you have. Somebody once said, if you don't want what you have, you'll never have what you want.
Yeah.
What's the thing you're most proud of?
I think I'm a pretty good mom.
Tell me your girls' names.
Missy and Jolie.
Okay.
Missy's named after my mom. Jolie is, my husband wanted Jolene. And I was
Right.
like, we're not going to have every song, like, no. And so,
But it is Dolly Parton. I mean,
Yes.
it's.
yeah. And Beyonce also.
I have not heard that version.
yeah, it's
I
pretty good.
I mean, Miley Cyrus does one that's
Yeah,
pretty good.
she's
yeah,
good.
I've heard that one.
But yeah, I think I'm very present for them, and they put me in check. And it's hard because I mean, I had them at 42, and so that's a different beat. Like, there's a reason people have kids in their 20s and early 30s. It's tough, but it's like I try to give them experiences, and we take them to travel as much as we can.
That's good.
Most of the time, it's our trips, but we did a Disney cruise, and I was not mad about it. Like, I was very relaxed and rested by the end of it.
Nice.
But I mean, we'll go to Mexico City and like take them. I want to take them to see the world. And I think I'm doing a good job of not letting the fact that bringing 2 4-year-olds is an inconvenience, but I try to bring them to see as much as possible. So I think I've done a pretty good job. I'll let you know though, when they're 15,
Yeah.
like,
Goodness great. And I turned 50, got married, became a stepdad.
yeah,
So I'm like in my 50s with a teenager. It's interesting, my life choices.
Yeah.
And I love my daughter so much. I just never thought I would be a parent.
yeah,
And she teaches me so much. We have an interesting relationship. I love it. I love
guess
it.
I'm also proud of like picking myself up over and over, like just not letting it just get to me and tear me apart. And just kind of, okay, well, what's next? Because it's hard to face all of your peers when it's like, oh, yeah, I had a market, it didn't make it.
Right.
And you still have this successful business, but like not letting that identify who I am.
No, but that's that grit, resilience
Yeah.
kind of, but there's a lot there. And I mean, again, as somebody that has failed, as somebody that still has imposter syndrome really, really bad and is reasonably convinced I'm still going to screw it all up, there's a lot to be said about facing your fears
Yeah.
and moving ahead. I heard recently, faith is not the absence of fear, it's just putting one step in front of the other and doing the best you can.
Yeah.
That's all any of us can do anyway,
Yeah.
Well, Simone, thank you for
Thank
being
you.
on Say Grace. Have so much fun in Charleston. I don't know what you'll be doing because
Yeah. You will never know.
I will never know, the veil of secrecy. But thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
It was an honor. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Hope you liked what you heard. If you did, tell a friend, tell a coworker. We're on all the major platforms. Thanks again for tuning in to Say Grace. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Say Grace, Food for Thought and Hospitality. We hope you join us next time as we continue to dive deeper into the inspirational stories about the transformative power of hospitality.